What's going on, y'all niggas, man? We back with another reaction. I don't know what we're gonna call this. What we gonna call this? The Menace Mafia, nigga. The Menace Militia. I fuck with militia. The militia just hard. I fuck with the militia shit. Cause militia ain't no illegal like mafia is. You can get a RICO off mafia. We the militia.
BMF,
we the militia.
one of the biggest underground operations in American
ain't no
history.
vote, nigga. It's a
Millions
goddamn
of dollars, dozens of mansions, supercars, music labels, and
nigga,
so much more.
This
is an incredible story about how guys from the bottom
called,
infiltrated the mainstream world. From the treacherous streets of Detroit to yacht parties in Miami. You can find endless videos on this topic, but nowhere can you find a 30-minute documentary that covers everything from the beginning to the end. This is the story of the Black Mafia family. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. You can also follow the Instagram page as well. So let's get into it. The story begins in Detroit, Michigan, once the wealthiest city on the planet in the 1950s. The growth of General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler brought thousands of jobs to the Detroit area. And of course, just as many Americans migrated north to fill these positions. So for 15 years, Detroit was flourishing and life was as good as it gets. But like all societies, things eventually took a downward turn. In the 1960s, factory workers went on strike and unionized for higher pay. And in response, the car companies moved their operations overseas.
It is about BMF
and because of
Detroit,
this,
bro.
unemployment riddled the city. By 1968, Detroit was a Newington. The area is cut off by a river from the rest of the city, really making it its own community. This is truly the bottom of the bottom. So let's head down a dark abandoned alley all the way to the dead end.
The drain. They from the drain.
One of three functional houses on the entire
Went down the drain.
block. Here is where two brothers were born, Demetrius and Terry Flannery. Growing up, the two brothers had a difficult upbringing, but always managed to be okay. Demetrius was good-looking, charismatic, and flashy. On the other hand, the younger Terry was more reserved and under the radar. Needless to say, the two brothers were polar opposite personalities. But despite their differences, they always shared one common trait. Since a very young age, the Flannerys always had a knack for hustling and getting money. From junior high school, the two hustled and sold anything they could get their hands on. Both equally as gifted, just went about it in completely different ways. Demetrius, also known as Meech, was flashy and always wanted the girls to see as well. Meanwhile, Terry hated the attention and always wanted to remain low-key. This will later be...
Anybody had like a little bar that said, like I'm Southwest T. Getting money fall off the tree. Like I'm Southwest T.
Irrelevant,
I don't know.
But for now, we focus on how they got their start. By the time Meech was a junior in high school, his hustling ways had gotten serious. A steady income of $1,000 a week went a long way back in this time. Regardless, this was still a very small operation, especially compared to what was going on in East and West Detroit. Knowing Meech's personality, he was not happy staying at this level. Well, in 1984, one of his friends named Kilo thought of a plan. Kilo's uncle was a man named E.D. Boyd, and this guy was a large distributor between Miami and Detroit. So Kilo's plan was to set up a meeting between his uncle and Meech. Well, eventually the meeting took place, and Meech made a great impression on E.D. He demonstrated the drive and determination to strike it rich. So the very next day, they started working together. They came up with a plan unlike any others in Detroit. They started selling $50 bags, far lower than anyone else in Detroit. Well, because of this, more and more customers began rushing in, so they needed to expand. Meech would invite his brother Terry and his best friend Derek Meeks to help out, and from here the operation took off. Due to their reputation for $50 bags, they became known as the 50 Boys of Southwest Detroit. People traveled from all over the map to come get them, even neighboring states. By the start of 1985, Big Meech was wearing gold chains, mink coats, and driving foreign cars. But as we know, a life like this can get out of hand fast. So in order to keep everyone in check, he called a meeting at his house on every Sunday night.
You gotta be, bro, because you gotta, you know what I'm saying, show these niggas to
discuss what was going on in the
ain't nothing to you, nigga.
Early on, a big topic they battled over was Meech's flash. He was trying to school him on why he shouldn't be outside looking like $1 million. It draws all of the wrong attention. He shouldn't be outside looking like
clothes and shit, bro. I ain't gonna cap though. These niggas ain't there. I ain't gonna care, but they had this shit back in the day. Same time, it's like, damn, bro. This to like jail. I bet they was living a good life for the time though. I ain't gonna count. But would I take 20 years? 20 years for 30, 40 years of, well, I say, yeah, about 30, 40 years of living like a king, nigga. Live like a king. You know what I'm saying? Live like a king for 30, 40 years, right? You live like a king for 30, 40 years, and then they take you out of jail for 20. You get out that 20, and you get to get out and still live like a king. I don't know.
Like $1 million.
I don't know.
It draws all of the wrong attention.
I don't know.
You couldn't take that flamboyant out of Meech, okay? He wasn't to shine like that, okay? You couldn't take that from him.
Well, Meech, of course, was not going to stop being flashy, and this would come back to haunt him later on. But for now, we focus on the early days in Detroit.
Probably
Boyd had a long-lasting feud with a man named Leighton Simon, also known as the Beast.
You get rewarded for being down
years
or for
before the
staying
50
down.
Boys even existed. Essentially, Leighton was a competitor, and he controlled an area
Gunna
called
had
12th
to want to go
Street.
down.
ED
He
and
being a
Leighton
king,
Simon were big, respected bosses, so they never tried to harm each other.
Fuck that.
Well, rumors say that in June of 1985, both Leighton Simon and the 50 Boys attended a boxing match in Las Vegas. The event was held at the infamous Caesar's Palace, and all kinds of ballers were in attendance. Well, out of all these people, somehow Leighton Simon and Meech were standing right next to each other the whole time.
If y'all was really doing that type of shit.
Meech decided to test
allegedly, if y'all was allegedly doing that.
He kept bumping into me and shit. You know what I'm saying? And
who did fetch?
It was crowded. It was crowded. You know, I understand that. I can understand maybe 2 or 3 bumps. You know what I'm saying?
Keep bumping too.
I'm saying, my man, you bump me one more time, there's gonna be a problem in this.
Meech walked away.
You know what I'm saying?
Leighton
That's regular
already
shit though.
disliked ED, but
what the fuck is that?
now he had a hatred for the 50s boys. Unfortunately, this would start to cost them. And that takes us to 1987, the year that changed everything. At just 15 years old, Terry Flannery was already a star in Detroit. So like his brother, Terry wanted
15.
a nickname as well. So in order to pay homage to a local kingpin named Southwest T, Terry decided to adopt his name. Well, when he heard the news, the original Southwest T was conflicted. On one hand, the name was homage
Nigga, how you gonna name yourself some shit when that nigga still alive? Just cause you ain't met the nigga don't mean he not alive out there, nigga. What type of shit is that?
to his legacy, but on the other hand, it was kind of disrespectful. Well, coincidentally, not too long after, he found out that Terry was hanging out with some of his girls. And of course, this is what tipped him over the edge.
No, I'm Southwest.
February 22nd, 1987. Terry drives to his baby mom's house on 9th Street in E-Course. He parks in the driveway and quickly rushes inside because of the weather. Well, little does he know the running saved his life because a rival is right across the street. Bam! Terry gets hit in the eye and his baby mom rushes him to the hospital. Thankfully, Terry was okay, but they did have to remove his eye. Directly after this happened, the 50 boys all met up. Nothing like this had ever happened to them, and they had to figure out who did it. Was it Leighton or the original Southwest T? To this day, the official answer has never been revealed.
Back then, bro. But they used to not do as much damage as they do now.
Unfortunately, this was just the start of the chaos.
I don't know.
Just a few months later, Boyd's nephew Kilo was found dead inside of his truck. This devastated the 50 boys. They started packing everywhere they went. You just never knew what could go down on a daily basis in Detroit.
I don't know how the hell they doing that shit, bro. I'm not letting myself get shot to let y'all niggas like
May 3rd, 1987.
You know what I'm saying?
The 50 boys drive out to Coney Island Diner on Woodward Ave.
I ain't gonna too much even let that slide.
They sit in the parking lot playing music from their fancy cars. What they
it
don't
is what
know
it
is
is,
that
bro.
Leighton Simon lives
not gonna,
right
y'all
around
just
the
gonna have
corner.
to, hey.
Or maybe they do, and that's why
how
they're
the hell
there.
in-
Well,
how in the
either way,
world are you
Leighton
surviving
hears
that
about
shit,
this
bro?
and rolls up with his brother. And from here, both sides let off.
That shit traveling like miles per hour, bro.
Leighton was hit 4 times in the back, but thankfully he made it. However, he had to see his brother go, and this scarred him for life. His hatred
Hit
for the
4
50
times in
boys
the back, and he still made it. Oh yeah, this shit crazy, bro. Okay. I might actually say them motherfuckers was shooting pillows.
Was now eternal, and he wanted to take out their top
It was real
dog,
bullets,
but for now he waited for the
doing their
perfect
job.
opportunity.
I ain't gonna cap, bro. They was not doing their job, bro.
From this moment on,
What
the
the
50
hell?
boys
How
were
you get hit 4 times in the back and survive, bro? How you get in the eye and survive? You're supposed to go all the way through your fucking brain. What? It's traveling in miles per hour. A small object coming out of, you know what I'm saying?
as confident as ever. They defended themselves successfully against the Beast of Detroit, and of course they were making huge money in the process. Big Meech had gotten cocky, and in 1989 he wanted to prove another point to Layton. May 22nd, 1989, Big Meech decides to throw a block party right in front of Layton's grandma's house. He parks his car, plays music, and all of his friends join around. Well, when Layton gets the news, he's furious and heads that way instantly. What happens next is up for debate. Either way, Meech gets hit 12 times and is rushed to the hospital. Somehow he survived, but this definitely...
Okay, hold on. Okay, all right. At first I was like, man, they getting hit by... Nah, they getting hit by pillows. They out here doing pillow fights and
so
shit,
the
though.
50 boys sat down with Meech and decided that they needed to change their lifestyle. And for Meech, this meant leaving Detroit for good. It wasn't an easy decision, because leaving behind that local fame is a difficult choice. The 50 boys were easily the most popular guys in Detroit. However, Layton was not playing, and their whole operation could end.
I'm surprised. That's really surprising.
So
like, back in the day, bro, that used to be crazy.
Boys decided to leave Detroit behind.
Nowadays, you'll hear a nigga get shot that many times.
But not
you will hope he survive, but then he just won't survive.
They needed to change their business operations.
I'm thinking it's about to be just like back then.
The boys decided to take on a new identity, known as the Black Mafia family. This represented their new plan, which resembled the Italian mafias of the 1900s. Street rivalries were now beneath them, and money was the only motivation. Instead of controlling one city, they decided to branch out all across the U.S. So here's how it went. Southwest T moved to L.A., focused on making connections in California and hopefully Mexico. Big Meech headed to Atlanta, where he focused on distributions and finding clients. And honestly, for the first year, they went from making millions in Detroit to making thousands in Atlanta.
They just
However, one lucky connection would change everything.
I don't know,
in 1990, Southwest T made a strong connection with a man named Wayne Jordan. This guy was connected all throughout Mexico, meaning he had the lowest prices on the market.
How much I'm gonna be able to survive after I get shot, nigga? I don't want that shit. Don't shoot it. Don't shoot that bitch at me. I'm straight.
In LA, where he packed up cars and
I don't need to learn my list, goddamn. You can.
This was the new game plan, and
you can just tell me shot. I ain't gotta goddamn learn from
experience all over the country to make connections, and because of this, life was wealthier than ever before. As we all know, money will amplify your character. Meech became as flashy as ever, and Atlanta was the perfect audience. He made it his home base. This is where he wanted to be top dog. So he and his guys would go to the club every night in their supercars, diamond chains, and mink coats. After a short while, the BMF name was the biggest thing in Atlanta. Well, Southwest T did not approve of this whatsoever. He was in LA, remaining as low-key as possible. So seeing his brother attract all this attention was definitely worrisome. But Meech had a completely different mentality. He wanted everyone to know who he was and what he did.
He
Crazy enough, I still ain't know who that nigga was. I'm young as hell.
I'd rather know what I'm doing than not know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yeah, cause they see you getting money, nigga. They see you. Like that's how you know what nigga. You know what I'm saying? That nigga ain't nothing to play with. But you see that nigga, boy. That nigga over there. He on stage dancing with the strippers. He dancing with the strippers, nigga. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know.
He partied hard, but he worked even harder. Throughout the 1990s, Meech bought 8 mansions across Atlanta. All of these mansions were equivalent to T's warehouses in LA. So at these mansions, cars would be packed up and sent across the country. At a certain point, the operation was too much for the brothers to handle alone. They started hiring specialists in every field, and in 1998, they hired
people though, but you know that's how you know what I'm saying. How niggas compromise. I ain't gonna
best
cap.
and worst specialists at the same time. This would be a man named Doc Marshall, a math and economic genius. He introduced BMF to a bunch of economic theories. I won't go into specifics, but he instantly made their business far more profitable. The only issue was that Doc was not from the streets, and we know what this can potentially lead to. But for now, let's focus on BMF.
In that bitch? Oh my! When was this made? 3 weeks ago. Oh yeah, that mean he told some shit. I knew it, bro. Every time you take a nigga off, every fucking time. Every time it's a nigga that like don't got them principles,
Meech
bro.
was a major star in Atlanta's
It's never that.
And through the streets,
Niggas
he
will never
became
be
close
silent.
friends
Like,
with
I
a
don't know
man
what it
named
is.
Jay Jenkins. I'm a major
I know what it
street
is.
hustler
Niggas don't
in
wanna go
Atlanta.
down.
Well, Jeezy led from the town of Hawkinsville, but became a major street hustler in Atlanta. Well, Jeezy allegedly turned his street money to a successful rap career. And as we all know, he became a superstar. Well, naturally, after watching his process, Meech wanted this for himself. The only problem was that he couldn't rap. So instead, he started a music label called BMF Entertainment. His idea was that if he threw enough money into an artist, they'll eventually blow up and he'll make the money back. He wanted to sign Young Jeezy, but by this time, he already had his own label. So instead, he signed a rapper named Blue Da Vinci. Well, the Blue Da Vinci experiment was off to a rocky start. This is despite Meech investing over $500,000 into each video. He gave him supercars and big...
Shit, you fuck up a song over here, nigga. I didn't give you 500. I'm jumping you every video. Every video you fuck up, if it don't sound good to my ears, nigga, I'm jumping your ass after the video. You gonna go to the next video with 2 black eyes. If you don't, until you get it right, nigga, you gonna be looking like Martin in the goddamn show. He had all them bruises and bumps on his head until you get that shit right.
Big features and it still didn't work.
Talking about?
Essentially, he had everything on a platter and still failed. To Southwest T, this was a clear indication that the label needed to stop. The brothers got into heated arguments over this, which ultimately split them up. For the longest time, the brothers would check one another for making the wrong moves. But now that they split up, Meech took his lifestyle to a whole new level. And this sparked the downfall of BMF.
Damn.
2002, Meech began throwing parties at his Buckhead mansion. And if you know anything about Buckhead, it's Karen Central. So potentially having noise complaints where you do business makes no sense. But not only were neighbors a concern, but how about the people attending the parties? I'm talking about Jeezy, Fabulous, Diddy, and many more. And along with this came all of their homies as well.
At the same time, it's like crash out niggas
the people at the party saw a golden opportunity.
Everything's so
September 17th, 2003. 7 a.m. 3 men break into the BMF mansion through the garage. They make their way into the living room and bam! The 3 men instantly run out of the house and speed away. And here is where panic mode kicks in. BMF knows they have to clear out the mansion before Atlanta police arrive. So they quickly pack everything into the cars and drive away. They leave Doc Marshall at the house to talk to police, being that he's not a street guy. He tells police of an intruder and that he had to scare them away. All of that is well within Georgia law. But
is it his house though? The house ain't in his name though. So you leave a nigga in your house, like, what?
Here's where things go left. Somehow the police received the consent to search the house. Atlanta police...
It's not his house. What the hell you gonna say? No, it's not his house.
Took hours scouring through the house until they found a stash in one of the bedroom closets. For this, they arrest Doc Marshall and sent him to jail.
Oh, yeah, he gone.
Uh-oh. That's what we're all thinking, but not Big Meech or Terry. They were not alarmed and it was business as usual. The only thing that changed was now instead of house parties, they went to clubs.
Back then, it wasn't that many niggas telling, I guess.
Deep of BMF members.
It was, but it wasn't public.
They were known
you know what I'm saying? Like
problems.
it is now. Like,
November 12th,
you will see it, you know a nigga telling nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Friday night and Big
he told
Meech
you.
and BMF
No, he's
members
asshole.
head to Club Chaos. They throw money all night and Meech
telling.
starts talking to a girl.
That
She
nigga right there.
happens to be the
Ratatouille.
girlfriend of another man at the
That nigga right there.
club.
Master Splinter.
That would be
If you hear
Anthony
me.
Jones, also known
You
as
can
Wolf.
tell.
And
Some
this
niggas
guy
you can
happens
tell,
to
bro.
be P. Diddy's bodyguard.
Nowadays,
well,
but
at
back
the club,
then,
Anthony approaches
no,
Meech
sir.
and tells him to stop talking to his girl. Meech takes it as disrespect and gets Anthony out of his face. Anthony is furious, so he leaves the club. Well,
That's how I ain't gonna lie. That's how a lot of shit go down, bro. Niggas think they just untouchable. Boom. Try to talk to your bitch. You look at your bitch like, damn, this nigga talking to my bitch. You walk over there. You like, hey, bro, stop talking to my fucking bitch. He look at you like, nigga, you serious? The bitch look at this nigga like, hey, we just talking. You look at this nigga like, you better start talking about bitch before I got down fire on his ass. And then some shit happened.
The night continues.
Cause niggas can control their anger when it comes to hoes.
They head to the parking lot, and right there is Anthony
I'm one of them
Jones.
niggas sometimes.
A scuffle breaks out, and someone takes it to another
Really, I do that
level.
shit for fun though, to see if the bitch gonna like really.
The next day, Meech would go down for it, and this is where
killed that nigga.
Anthony
Damn,
Jones.
all that raw over that bitch got your ass popped.
A scuffle breaks out, and someone takes it to another level.
Damn.
The next day, Meech.
Rest in peace, that nigga, bro. It's crazy. See, a bitch can get you killed, bro. Real talk. That's why I don't do that shit in real situations. I do that shit as a joke to the girl I'm fucking with. I ain't gonna care. It be funny to me. I'm gonna see how you react. Is you gonna, nigga, I ain't talking. Or you gonna, oh yeah, I'm talking to that nigga. You gonna play it off. If I see you play it off, I'm like, come on, bitch.
Would go
He's really
down
pulling your
for it.
card type
This
shit.
is where the story
What's wrong with you? Why you talking to these
He
niggas?
was actually released on self-defense a few weeks later. Atlanta police had no idea who they arrested, and that's kind of crazy to think about. They probably wrote him off as another rich executive in Atlanta. Little did they know he was running the biggest underground operation in the whole United States.
Damn, so they didn't know who this nigga was at
thought
first?
nothing of him, the DEA decided to look into him. So they contacted the IRS to look through Big Meech's tax returns. What they found is that he made $200,000 in the previous year. This wasn't enough to afford even one of his supercars. Better yet, this couldn't even cover the down payment on one of his mansions. Something wasn't right, so they presented this to a judge and they granted them a wiretap. Interestingly enough, the first person they tapped was Terry Flannery. They thought that this would be easy, but little did they know Terry had 20 different phones. On top of this, he never actually said any names or locations over the phone. In fact, the entire BMF talked in their own specific code. They used nicknames and aliases for everything. The agents got frustrated, thought about giving up, but then Terry said something that pissed them off. While talking to an assistant, Terry said that police aren't smart enough to tap phones like they do in The Wire. This gave the agents a personal vendetta. They started staying up.
Nigga, how you gonna threaten the police with some? You threaten to do their job better? Come on, man.
All night trying to figure out his code and track all of his calls. And eventually they figured it out. December 5th, 2004.
Come on, man.
It's a regular day in the BMF organization. And this means that another load is set to be delivered across the country. This time, a man named Jeffrey Lair is set to arrive at the Buckhead Mansion and head up to Louisville, Kentucky. So he arrives at the mansion.
You should have pulled that honest living card. No, I'm just trying to make an honest living out here, man. I don't know why these police doing me like this, you know what I'm saying? They'll never want to see a black man winning for real. I have one bad year on my ass, goddamn. They don't know how to find my taxes. I'm from the hood. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying, nigga? That's how I'm say I happen to, fall into bad times or something, nigga.
Exactly when the delivery was
really, if I fall into bad times, nigga, I'm jumping head first. I'm doing a 360 windmill into the streets.
Troopers to do a routine traffic stop on Jeffrey Lair. This way, BMF would have no suspicion of a large investigation. Well, Jeffrey gets pulled over in Florissant, Missouri. They search the car and find everything they wanted. So Jeffrey gets arrested and thinks nothing of it. So he calls Terry from the county jail. Boy, what a mistake. He tells Terry what happened, and this was all the feds needed. Half of the investigators wanted to arrest Terry right away. Case closed, hopefully a 10-year sentence. But the other half wanted to use this evidence to take down the entire BMF organization. The reason some of the investigators wanted to finish it dedicated,
but you can't give him a reason to be dedicated even more.
But the lead investigator figured that he could put hard pressure on Jeffrey Lair. So he told Jeffrey that he's facing 20 years unless he gives up
these niggas ain't smart enough. These niggas are old.
Tough decisions. But in the meantime, BMF had no idea what was going on. BMF figured that Jeffrey would take his time. Meech and Terry's level of panic was -30. In fact, in 2005, Meech purchased a custom all-white Maybach, the only one in the United States. He also rented a
He purchased the first one? Yeah, that's big baller shit, bro. You can't be doing it.
$1,000 a month mansion on Miami Beach.
That bitch got a tennis court.
Here he hosted parties with
this nigga.
He also hosted vacations in Cancun.
He in the spotlight.
Flew
Like,
everyone out
you
on
can't
his
say the nigga ain't get money, like, cause you seeing it in real life. Like, say this nigga, the cops just in the club getting a drink, or they partying or some shit. They turn around, they see a nigga with a fat ass BMF chain on the back. You saying this wasn't you with the fat ass BMF chain that one day? Nigga, I seen you.
I would call this the calm before the storm. BMF felt untouchable and were not prepared for what was coming
really
next.
happened, bro.
October 17th, 2005. All 9 Atlanta mansions are raided by the FBI. But oddly enough, they don't find what they're looking for. Somehow, BMF had cleared everything out just in time. So still, all they had was Terry's wiretap and Jeffrey Leonard. So BMF's lawyers figured that Terry might do 10 years, but that's about it. Meech, on the other hand, had nothing against him. But then, everything would crumble down. In late 2005, Doc Marshall took the witness stand against all of BMF. He had 36 members arrested, including Big Meech. This was it. The whole operation was done. All of the money, glory, chains, and mansions over with. During the case, they could not...
Don't tell me you in jail for one nigga testimony. That's some bullshit. I ain't gonna cap. That's some real life bullshit, bro.
Believe how large this operation was. Some estimate that they were making over $300 million a year. While Terry and Demetrius were ultimately handed 30-year sentences. But since then, BMF have become cultural icons. In fact, their name has been mentioned in hundreds.
Damn, when they got arrested, 2005, how the hell they ain't out?
Of songs. Well, in 2020, Terry was released, and in 2026, Meech will be as well. And this...
I heard that shit right. 3 years? 30?
Icons. In fact, their name has been $1 billion a year. While Terry and Demetrius, some estimate that they were making over $300 million a year. While Terry and Demetrius were ultimately handed 30-year sentences. But since then, BMF have become cultural icons.
They both should have been out?
Their name has been mentioned in hundreds of songs. Well, in 2020,
that's not their real, like, they real sentence.
Was released, and in 2026, Meech will be as well. And this prompted
3 years.
Simon to say that he believes that
from 2005 to that's 2008, 2009.
You got to give up somebody.
As late as 2012 or some shit.
You got to get bad.
But what do you guys think? Did they snitch
that must be the
to
nigga
get out
they
of
op or something.
And on that note, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.
Bro. Peace. I asked the goddamn the BMF story, nigga. You feel me? Shit crazy, nigga. They shooting at each other and shit. That shit, man. Them niggas ain't no joke. Oh, freedom boys, man. Free all the guys. See y'all later. For sure.